Dear friends, welcome to Know Thyself YouTube Channel. Good morning. Hope you are all staying safe and keeping well. I sincerely thank all of you who have subscribed to this channel and follow the channel. If you find the contents of the videos uploaded in this channel useful, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification or the bell icon so that you can be notified when a video is uploaded. Kindly share the videos with others or on the internet. In the last two episodes of Know Your Personality segment, we focused our attention on the type 1 personality of Enneagramic-Jesus, namely Jesus as an idealist and reformer, who though was firm and disciplined, was never compulsive about perfection. Instead, he focused on others' goodness rather than perfection, which made him more compassionate towards others. In this episode, we will talk about how Enneagram Type 1 persons can learn to deal with their compulsion and avoidance from the Enneagramic-Jesus Type 1 personality, thereby live a compulsion-free and avoidance-free life with themselves, others, and God. When we analyze the balanced Type 1 personality of Enneagramic-Jesus, we realize that though Jesus wanted to act perfectly and reform others, his teachings and actions neither displayed compulsive perfectionism nor he compulsively avoided anger in dealing with others. Instead, he recognized goodness even in sinners, was gentle with them while admonishing them when needed, and attempted to cultivate their goodness rather than focused his attention on making them perfect. This made Jesus more compassionate towards others, accept their faults and failures, and bear with them. The practice of compassion and acceptance of others helped Jesus to perceive human persons and their situations, despite their limitations, optimistically. He believed that the first step for anyone to become better is to feel loved and accepted as one is. For Jesus, the goodness ingrained in people will eventually show itself up and flower, though in small steps, if we respond to their pushiness of heart in gentleness, leading them to the awareness of their inner goodness and transformation of their sinful attitudes and conduct. The way Jesus dealt with Matthew the tax collector, Zacchaeus, Samaritan woman, the woman caught in adultery, and the woman who anointed his feet with ointment was clearly guided by the balanced and non-compulsive attitude of Jesus. As an Enneagram Type 1 person, you can learn from the Type 1 personality of Enneagramic-Jesus this balanced and non-compulsive attitude to deal with yourself and other human persons. We briefly consider the significant changes this balanced attitude of Enneagramic-Jesus can bring on you as a Type 1 person, your environment, and your relationship with others. Firstly, as a Type 1 person, you can learn from the spirit of optimism and self-acceptance characteristic of Type 1 Enneagramic-Jesus. You must be optimistic and self-accepting as you strive for your own perfection. As a human being, you are subjected to the law of gradual growth, which begins only with self-acceptance. You need to believe that you don't have to be perfect before you are lovable. God has made you, and He does not make junk. You are created in God's image and likeness. You are the effect of an act of God's love, and you are meant to be God's unique gift to the world and to your situation at this point in history. You must remember that you don't become perfect just by putting in greater efforts. Without recognizing and accepting God-given goodness and power within you. Your real growth in your spiritual journey towards holiness and perfection happens when you accept the inner goodness God in His unconditional love placed in you as He created you into being. Be grateful to God for the goodness He has placed in you and work with them so as to make yourself the unique image and likeness of God you are meant to be. Secondly, as a type 1 person, you can learn from the spirit of compassion characteristic of type 1 Enneagramic-Jesus. Learning to be compassionate makes you more peaceful and helps you to face life's events with a sense of calmness. As you begin practicing compassion, you are able to see the good out there in yourself, in others, in your environment, and the world at large, despite the fact that not everything is right and in the way it should be. You will find that many people are concerned about honesty, justice, and peace, which you desire deeply as an Enneagram Type 1 person. You must take this as evidence that God is at work in human hearts, moving people of goodwill to overcome disorder, injustice, and everything that threatens the well-being of all. This positive perception of yourself, your situation, others, and the larger world will free you from compulsive perfectionism and avoidance as you are redeemed by the compassionate Jesus. Thirdly, as a type 1 person, you can learn from the spirit of openness to the big picture, characteristic of type 1 Enneagramic-Jesus. Though Jesus was meticulous in planning and strategizing, he was able to move beyond undue details and focus on the larger picture of any given situation. Jesus' teaching and example can inspire you as a type 1 person to keep in mind the big picture and focus only on relevant details without getting bogged down in unwanted details. When this happens, you as a type 1 person are able to discern between the anxious voice of the inner critic, which comes from the compulsion and avoidance of your type 1 Enneagramic self, and the voice of conscience, which comes from the presence of Jesus within you. Learning to discern between the anxious voice of the inner critic and the voice of conscience will transform you from being a fault finder, detractor, and a critic of yourself, your environment, others, and the world at large into a person who can listen to and understand the deepest desires of your own heart and those of others. You are able to accept your own faults, understand others' failures, limitations within your environment, and the world at large in the spirit of forgiveness, and focus on the aspirations and desires that lie hidden under this brokenness. Understanding and accepting your and others' aspirations and desires of the heart and working towards actualizing them in genuine inner freedom, that is, without compulsion and avoidance, makes you, as a type 1 person, a true reformer of people like the type 1 Enneagramic-Jesus. If you model your life after type 1 Enneagramic-Jesus, by cultivating and practicing the above described attitudes and allow them to permeate your life and actions, you will be free of your compulsion and avoidance and move towards the perfect way of living you desire as a child of God. Though you are wounded by your compulsion and avoidance, being saved by Christ's compassion, you become a wounded healer as you are able to continue to be Jesus' healing presence in the life of those around you. When this happens, you will experience happy coincidences in your life, things working out just right, and everything happening in the way you wanted. This is not just because of your own plans and strategies and the efforts you put in, but because you as a type 1 person, by putting on the attitudes of type 1 Enneagramic Jesus, have allowed your whole life to be attuned to the divine providence as it is unfolding in your personal history and social situation. The more you are aware of these happy coincidences, you will begin to rely in a practical way on God's actions in your life and become grounded in God. In the process, letting go your fears, anxieties, and concerns of your life. In the next 6 episodes, we will spell out the spiritual journey of Enneagram Type 2, the helper caregiver. Thank you for watching this video. Stay blessed until we see you again with another video.